That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, I have had one question over and over and over again, and that is, how are we valuing these 2023 rookie draft picks? What is the actual trade price for these? And should I be going out there and overpaying? Am I selling too low? I mean, on both ends of the spectrum, I've seen, some pretty aggressive takes with these picks. And y'all know months ago, I came out and I made a 20-minute long video explaining exactly why you should be looking to sell current players on your roster and go out of your way and purchase those 2023 draft picks for a multitude of reasons. I don't really even want to go back over that because we did that and it was over 20 minutes long. It was a while ago, but of course you can always go and just pull up that video. I believe it's called 2023 Rookie Picks Are Gold, something along those lines. But now I want to give y'all exact examples of what these picks are worth, because over the past, I want to say, year, I can't even say it's been since I made the video. It's been going on for a year. Everybody and their mom is out here talking about how great this 2023 draft class is. You have quarterbacks, running backs. A receiver prospect that may be better than who Jamar Chase was as a prospect. This draft class looks like it's historic, and I have made the mistake in the past. Y'all know I am always the first person to say I'm an idiot. I make mistakes all the time. I'm trying to learn from those mistakes. And one mistake that I need to learn from is back in the day, if you remember, Dynasty Fantasy Football in 2016, that offseason, a lot of people came out and said, you know what? This rookie class, complete garbage. I'm trading my 2016 first round picks for 2017 first round picks. And while I may have been hesitant at the time saying, okay, you're being way too aggressive with your evaluation of these players a year out in advance. Let's kind of just revisit that stance a lot of people had. That 2016 class got Corey Coleman, Josh Doxson. Just bust after bust after bust. Where 2017, that's the year where you get Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon at the top of rookie drafts. And when else did we see this? And honestly, I think we saw it to a greater extent this year. We saw that in 2020. If you remember the 2019 offseason, people were saying, you know what? I don't want N'Keal Harry. I don't want Miles Sanders. I don't want David Montgomery. Who I'm interested in is I'm interested in going out there and getting DeAndre Swift. He was the number one running back at the time. Then Jonathan Taylor. Those players that were in the 2020 draft class. How did that turn out? Pretty well for anybody that had that foresight, for anybody that was willing to go and plant the flag on that rookie class, even if they were paying a slight premium. Then they're 2 for 2. At least I've been playing in Dynasty Fantasy Football since 2014. Those are the 2 off seasons. I really remember people coming out talking about how great next year's class was going to be. That's exactly what we have here with 2023. So while in the past, I've been the person to say, you know what? I don't think it's a good idea to go out there and trade your 110 for a future first. I'd rather wait until we actually know what we're going to have on the clock. I still don't love the idea of trading away our rookie picks at any point, but if you have the ability to acquire that 2023 first with how the prospects look, with the hype centered around the class, probably a pretty good idea. So I'm not going to be focusing in on that class itself this video. Of course, we can do that. It's a long offseason. Instead, I went over to locals, I went over to Twitter, and I said, any real trades you have made with a 2023 first round pick, please leave them here. And it's hard for me to just come through and write, in my mind, perfectly balanced, perfectly fair trade saying, oh, trade Keenan Allen for a 2023 first, etc. It's hard for me to make up those fake scenarios that may not even really help you as much. I would rather visit the actual Dynasty marketplace. And if I can run through 10 to 15 trades in this video, give you my idea on if those picks were being bought at too low of a price tag, or the opposite end of the spectrum, someone was paying too much for those picks, I think we can all walk away with maybe a better idea overall of what the actual price for these picks is and possibly what it should be. But of course, I know we are very long into this video. Go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We just passed 13,000 subscribers. And because of y'all showing an immense amount of support as of late, dropping those likes as well, all our rankings are currently free over there on Locals. You can find the link down there in the description of the video. You can find the link in the comment section. We're going to make them free until Sunday, so please don't get mad at me if you watch this video on Tuesday and they're then behind the paywall. All you have to do is scroll down and there's a post called Free Rankings. There's the link. You click it. All right. But let's go into this, and let's go to Locals first, because obviously these are the people truly a part of the flock, and I think we have a ton to get through. So the first trade I'm going to be pulling up is going to be from Bobby. Says, proud of this one. Drafted Saquon Barkley because he fell to the 5th, 6th round of our Dynasty startup, and then immediately traded him for a 2023 first and 2024 first. Now, I'm assuming this is a super flex league because you said Saquon Barkley fell to the 5-6 turn. If it was a one quarterback league, look at the prospects on the board, 0% chance that's happening. So if we're acquiring these 2 future first for Saquon Barkley, I think that it really is dependent on your overall roster construction. Now, I would say if we are an active trader and if the rest of your league is also going to be looking to, say, make a deal every single week, then you're probably best suited with having these rookie picks on your team. This is something I talk about all the time, and I've been talking about this for years. The fact that everybody and their mom will go out there and trade for a rookie pick. If you go and put a 2023 first round pick on the block, you will probably have 11 owners reaching out to you. Whereas if you go and throw Saquon Barkley on the block, 2 guys are interested, tops. Now, with these first round picks, we have to ask ourselves, can the value go down? No. In reality, once we get past the 2022 draft class, that 2023 first round pick will be the earliest someone can acquire a rookie pick. So I know it seems like it's very far out in the future as of now, but once you get through your 2022 rookie drafts, people are going to be even more hungry for those rookie picks. And can those picks increase in value? They're guaranteed to increase in value essentially over the next 12 months. Now, let's look at Saquon Barkley this offseason. Can Saquon Barkley increase in value? Probably not. Now, if a trade's made out of left field, the Giants just signed Tyrod Taylor, so this isn't happening, but I'm just saying we're living in a fairyland world. If the Giants traded for Watson, then hell yeah, you would rather have Saquon Barkley over the 2 first round picks, and it's not even close. But realistically, what has to happen for Saquon Barkley to see a guaranteed increase in value before week 1? He has to, A, get a massive contract extension, which is definitely a possibility, and B, I would imagine we'd have to see a significant investment from the New York Giants into their offensive line, which is also a possibility. But they're possibilities, whereas you're guaranteed that those first round picks will increase in value. And I think this is about fair market price for Barkley. So I would prefer the first round picks now. Let the offseason play out. Look at the Saquon Barkley situation once we get to August. And if we need another running back in that tier of Saquon Barkley, hell, we got the first round picks still. It's not like they're off our roster. We can just flip those first round picks for a running back that we know exactly what we're getting in August. Okay. So now let's go to our next deal. This one's going to be from Crazy Fisher. It says traded Noah Fant and the 110 for a 2023 first and a 12-team Superflex Dynasty tight end premium league. So I will say, if you sent this to me before Noah Fant was traded to Seattle, I probably would have said, horrible deal. I don't see why we're making this trade at this point before that 110 is actually on the clock and your rookie draft. You're really just bleeding out value. But once we have seen the Denver Broncos show us that Noah Fant is expendable, and we haven't seen Fant take that step up really since his rookie season in 2019, and Noah Fant's going to a team. Now, keep in mind, I'm recording this video before Watson gets traded somewhere. If Watson ends up in Seattle, of course, it's a different story. But as it stands, it looks like Noah Fant's going to be in a very bad situation and project to be a mid tight end 2 this upcoming season. We've lowered him down our dynasty rankings as well. So I think this is actually about fair asking price for these 2023 first at this point. And this is the exact reason I'm making this video, to give people ideas of the real trades that are happening with these 2023 first round picks. Now, Wish coming out with our next one says 2 deals and a 10-team Superflex PPR tight end premium with 4 flex spots. Traded DK Metcalf and a couple seconds for 2 future first right before the Russell Wilson news. Y'all know I've been saying to sell DK Metcalf high all offseason. But going back to what we were talking about with Saquon Barkley, this is why you go out there and you acquire these first round picks that can't lose value, that are guaranteed to just increase in value, where a lot of these veterans like Metcalf, I looked at his situation at the beginning of the offseason and said, okay, this is the wide receiver profile. I mean, maybe we need to be ranking him as a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1, which is where we had him. I believe we had him as our wide receiver 13. How does he improve from this point, this offseason? In reality, he couldn't. Tyler Lockett, guaranteed contract. His quarterback situation could only get worse, even though people in the comment section wanted in for me. Oh my God, Seattle said they were not moving. Okay, it could only get worse. So going out there and trading for those stable 2023 picks, even if we don't plan on holding them until next offseason. Hell, we can take those 2 first-round picks and trade them for a receiver that looks just like DK Metcalf, if not better, right before the season starts. Love that deal. I love acquiring those first. Okay, so now let's go to Noah's trade. This says, I traded Mike Williams, AJ Dillon for Antonio Gibson and a 2023 first. Don't think we need to talk about that. You are not going to get that deal done in your league. That is what is called a ripoff. I'd imagine Noah's playing in a league with children. Okay, so now we're going over checking our next deal from Roofie. This is a 12-team Superflex league where you start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a flex, and a Superflex. The first deal moved Robert Woods and Michael Carter, received Chase Claypool, the 205, and a 2023 first. Now, I love this deal for a multitude of reasons, but let's try to focus in on that first round pick value. And what I want to do to make this trade easier to evaluate is let's remove the receivers from the deal. Now, I'd imagine most people watching this video, including myself, you can go check my Dynasty rankings. We prefer Chase Claypool with his age compared to Robert Woods coming off the significant injury in Dynasty. So I'm going to just say, you know what? Let's be conservative here. Let's say they're equal value, even though we probably prefer Chase Claypool. Let's remove them from the deal and view it as Michael Carter for that 205 and a 2023 first, like we just got done talking about. What can happen to improve Michael Carter's value this offseason? They trade for Watson? That's about it. That's about it. What happens if they go out of their way and they end up drafting Kenneth Walker to split the backfield and use Michael Carter as the 3rd down running back? Not saying it's likely, but it's in the range of outcomes. Now, if Michael Carter dodges free agency to completion, if he dodges the NFL draft, then he would be about equivalent to a 2023 first round pick. But there are those landmines that he has to dodge to get to that evaluation. Why don't we just avoid those landmines entirely, cash out, grab that 205 and a 2023 first? Great deal. I know it probably seems like I'm just all in on these 2023 first round picks, but these are the trades getting sent over to me. Now, our next one coming out from Gallup, he traded away a 2023 first and AJ Dillon and received back T. Higgins, Trey Sermon in the 302. Okay, so Trey Sermon, clearly just a throw in at this point. I honestly think we can remove Trey Sermon and the 302 from this deal and view it as trading away that 2023 first round pick and AJ Dillon for T. Higgins. And I will say, if this was a Superflex format, I would be very hesitant to make this deal, understanding that AJ Dillon does have it in the range of outcomes with an Aaron Jones injury to become as valuable as T. Higgins in Dynasty like that. And then all of a sudden, if you're able to just get that 2023 first round pick sweetener, that's amazing. Now, of course, it's in the range of outcomes, but it is unlikely. T. Higgins is that cornerstone asset where we know he will be most likely a mid to high-end wide receiver 2 this upcoming year. But I want to use this as an opportunity to talk about the difference in trading that 2023 first round pick in a super flex versus a one quarterback league. So if we look at that quarterback class in 2023, as of now, it looks like there projects to be about 5 starting quarterbacks from that class. 5 quarterbacks going in the first round of the NFL draft. Now, that is going to push down those running backs. Now, of course, probably still expecting Bijan Robinson, hook 'em horns, to go at the 101. But what happens? Bryce Young slides up to the 102. Even if he slides up to the 101 and we start to get that trickle effect, just like what we saw in 2021. I mean, where were you drafting Jamar Chase? I wasn't, because I was an idiot. But where were you drafting Jamar Chase in last year's rookie draft? You weren't having to spend the 101 on him. You weren't spending the 102. You weren't spending the 103. You weren't really spending the 104 either. A lot of times he's going at the 105. Sometimes 106. When I did draft him, I got him at the 107 in a couple leagues. The reason for that, you had Lawrence off the board. You had Justin Fields at the 102 in most leagues. Then you had Najee Harris, Trey Lance. Generally, those were the first options off the board. 3 quarterbacks at the very top. Now, we're not going to get that in this year's draft class, but next year's, it's completely different. So we need to be just fully understanding that a random 2023 first round pick next year is going to be significantly less valuable in that one quarterback format than it will be in Superflex. Because not only can you draft that quarterback in that Superflex league at that pick, but it will also make it a much more appealing selection overall if you have those running backs that are getting pushed down to you, those receivers that are getting pushed down to you. So I am fine with this deal because it's a one quarterback league. If it was a Superflex format, I think I probably would prefer the 2023 first and AJ Dillon, especially if it's a half point per reception league. Okay, so now let's go to our next trade. This one's coming out from ACDLR. This is traded away Joe Mixon, Jerry Jeudy, and Mike Williams for CeeDee Lamb, a 2023 first and second round pick, 10-team, one quarterback format. I'm sorry, we actually have a super flex spot here. Okay, that makes this deal significantly better. And if we just go through, try to break this down as it stands, I would imagine that most people in Dynasty post Amari Cooper trade would prefer CeeDee Lamb over the combination of Joe Mixon and Mike Williams. Now, maybe I'm wrong in that, but I would argue that in a 10-team league in particular, where depth is going to be a little bit less important, someone like Mike Williams won't hold the same weight. He won't have that same value as he would in a 12-team league where you know you're starting him every single week regardless. And with CeeDee Lamb, 23 years old, younger than Jalen Waddle, I'm pretty sure, double check me on that. But this is a receiver that, I was probably too low on at the beginning of the offseason because I wasn't assuming Amari was going to be gone. And of course, that was a massive mistake on my part. But nonetheless, if we remove those pieces saying they're roughly equal, we can break this down to, a 2023 first versus Jerry Jeudy. Let's throw the second round pick on CeeDee Lamb to make him equal to Mixon and Mike Williams. Now, with this league in particular, let's think about where Jerry Jeudy was drafted in your rookie draft back in 2020. So long ago. Jerry Jeudy was a mid to late first round selection. What has Jerry Jeudy done to make his value increase? Of course, he's gotten a better quarterback. But at the end of the day, Jerry Jeudy has been very disappointing his rookie season and his second year. So if you're telling me I'm going to get a guaranteed top 10 selection and just reset the clock for free, not having to sell Jeudy at a discount based on the early career struggles, I'm making the deal. Give me the 2023 first yet again. And I know I'm probably being boring here. Now, Brandon says, flip Devin Singletary in the 207 this year for a 2023 first. Projected top pick. I don't really care too much when people reach out to me and say, oh, Mason, should I make this trade for an early 2023 first, a late 2023 first? Because a lot of times I think people are just flat out wrong with how they project those picks. I think a lot of times people are overly confident with their ability to evaluate their opponent's roster. And in reality, they're probably trying to spin it to make it sound like it's a better deal than it actually is. So I'm viewing this as just a random 2023 first, but bravo. Just like what we were saying with Michael Carter. Why would someone trade for one of these running backs at this point? Of course, if it's a Joe Mixon type player, it's a completely different situation. But if it's Devin Singletary in particular, so Devin Singletary in the 207 may equal a 2023 first, may equal that 2023 first. If we get to August, he's the starting running back in Buffalo. All reports are saying so coming out of training camp. Then he's equal to that 2023 first round pick. But as of now, you have to dodge the rest of the landmines in free agency. You have to dodge the NFL draft as well. It's a lot easier said than done, especially for a running back like Devin Singletary when they just tried to sign J.D. McKissic. So I guess the takeaway in this video is these 2023 draft picks, yes, they're expensive, especially compared to the 2022 class. And in the past, I've been the person to come out and say, oh, we're overly confident with our ability to project the future. I mean, honestly, I think if we zig while other people are zagging, we can make a profit. Hell, that's why I did not load up on 2020 picks in 2019. That's why I did not load up on 2016 picks in 2017 picks in 2016. I don't think you should make that same mistake this year. If this is the price point for these rookie picks, I'm completely fine going out there and paying them, especially knowing that they will be the most stable asset in Dynasty. And if you want, you can just turn around and flip them in August. Love the deals. Hopefully this helped y'all out at all. Please go down there. Drop a comment with any trade you have made involving a 2023 first round pick. I think that should be it. I hope you all have a great day and hope we get to see you with the video tomorrow.